It's a new year, and with it comes a bunch of new TVs. Case in point, TCL's new 2025 Q6, now named the QM6K. This entry-level model now has a mini LED panel with local dimming, which is a big step up from the previous Q6 that didn't even have local dimming. But does that make the new model a clear upgrade over the old one? Hi, I'm Abby from Rtings.com, and I'm going to show you that, yes, the new model is a big improvement, but it does come at a cost. When it comes to raw picture quality, the QM6K is a major leap forward compared to the older Q6. Make no mistake though, this is still a budget model at heart. Its HDR brightness is on the mediocre side, enough for a generally pleasant HDR experience, but it lacks the pop for truly eye-catching highlights. It doesn't look any dimmer in game mode, so gamers won't be losing anything there. At least its HDR brightness follows the content creator's intent pretty closely overall. It's not perfect, but it's not terrible either. The big improvement over the previous model is the implementation of a fully fledged mini LED panel. And oh boy does it show! This TV's contrast is downright impressive. We've reached it, folks. The point where low-end TVs now have well-functioning local dimming, providing deep blacks next to bright highlights with good black uniformity. It's not the fastest local dimming solution we've seen, as there's some noticeable haloing behind fast-moving bright objects, but it's decent. There's also some blooming around bright highlights, but again, decent. That's just nitpicking though, as these black levels do impress. Now, let's talk HDR colors. They're alright. As you'd expect, thanks to the TV's deep contrast, it really excels when displaying dark saturated colors, but its relatively low HDR brightness means bright colors don't pop as much. But when it comes to accuracy, hey, it's good. Sure, blues, reds, and magentas stray from what they should be, but overall it's on point. White balance skews slightly blue and brighter grays, while reds are a bit underrepresented there. But this balances out and keeps the color temperature near 6500 Kelvin. If you're a purist, calibration can get you even closer to perfect. In SDR, this TV is bright enough to handle glare in well-lit rooms. But unfortunately, it struggles with reflections from lamps or windows directly in front of it. You'll see distracting glare with visible light banding, especially in dark scenes. In mixed lighting, it's a bit better, but still not great. Overall, this is really a TV that is best enjoyed in dim or dark rooms, a context that really emphasizes the TV's contrast. The TV's SDR color volume is okay, much like in HDR. It handles the narrower DCI-P3 color space fairly well, especially darker colors. Again, that contrast is coming in clutch. It struggles noticeably more with the BT 2020 color space, especially with lighter colors outside of bright whites. It can barely display half of those brighter color ranges. It's also accurate in SDR, though slightly less so than in HDR. Both red and blue are a bit too strong in grays, but this fortunately balances out the overall color temperature to near 6500 Kelvin. Overall, the balance is strong with this TV. Color mapping has a few hiccups, but they're minor. Again, you can calibrate the TV to near perfection, so that's always an option. But most people will be happy with this TV's accuracy. If you're planning on a wide seating arrangement, keep in mind that the QM6K dims noticeably and raises its black levels when viewed at relatively small angles. Not optimal for any friends positioned at extreme angles. But why would you do that to them in the first place? At least colors stay fairly intact, if not grayer and dimmer. But it's not the best for side seating. If you really care about off-axis performance, you'll probably want to look elsewhere. When it comes to processing, this TV is quite alright, but nothing amazing. Its best performance here is in its low-quality content smoothing, as it's decent. It removes a fair amount of macro blocking from low bitrate content, even if there's some left, with some loss of detail. Things aren't quite as rosy when it comes to upscaling. It's alright, but fine details are decidedly hard to make out. And guess what? When it comes to HDR native gradient handling, it's alright there too. There's noticeable banding in all grays and greens, as well as in darker reds, but aside from that, it's fine. Besides local dimming, there's another big jump over the old Q6. Gaming features. The QM6K supports 4K at 144Hz and, get this, 1080p at 288Hz with TCL's Game Accelerator. That's intense for a budget mini LED. It also offers a wide VRR range, low input lag, and solid pixel responsiveness at 120 and 144 Hz. Sure, it's not on an OLED's level, but for an LED TV, it's fast. So gamers, take note. This TV supports Dolby Vision and HDR10+, and it passes advanced Dolby and DTS audio formats through its eARC port. Plus, that eARC port is on one of the TV's 2 HDMI 2.0 ports, leaving its 2 high-speed HDMI 2.1 ports untouched and free to be used for your high-speed devices. So, should you buy it? Well, frankly, it depends when you're watching this video. Why? Well, because some of 2024's models, like the TCL QM7 and the Hisense U7N, are still available and cheaper than the QM6K, all while outperforming it handily. The QM6K does have better contrast than the Hisense U7N, is more accurate, and is also a bit more responsive when gaming. But aside from that, the Hisense is vastly brighter, more colorful, and has much better reflection handling with better image processing, giving it a more impactful image overall. Against the TCL QM7, the QM6K has the edge in only one facet: SDR and HDR color accuracy. The QM7 is better everywhere else. Ouch. But these 2024 TVs will eventually go out of stock and will be replaced by new products. We already see that the new QM6K is much more expensive than the older Q6, but it does have more features, handily outperforming its predecessor. In many ways, these two products are not in the same market segment anymore. The new TCL QM7K is also much more expensive than the QM7 for similar performance, shifting the value proposition of the QM6K. If you can't get the cheaper older models at the time you're watching this, then this TV is solid value, as it's well-rounded, performs decently in most respects, and will please most people who want a satisfactory TV with some advanced features. That's it for our look at the TCL QM6K. Are you happy at its performance advantage over the Q6, or would you have preferred a less advanced but cheaper model? Let us know. For the last time, I'm Abby from Rtings.com, where we help you find the best products for your needs. And yes, you heard that right. For the last time. It's been a pleasure hosting for you all, and I wish you the best 2025 TV season. Please give love and support to all our new hosts, and keep on keeping on. And on the topic of replacing old models, overall, this is really a TV. This is a TV, really. Overall, this is a TV, really.